I'm Yvette Rogers, Outreach Coordinator for Celtic Colours International Festival. Over the years, I've been so fortunate to travel to almost every corner of Cape Breton Island to work with some remarkable people who help make their communities what they are. This summer, I traveled around the island and met up with some folks along the way. Join me on a road trip and explore some of the unique communities and vibrant cultures that make this beautiful island the home of our hearts. I have said many times that we live in a painting. Nature has blessed the island with such beautiful imagery. It is one of the reasons that the Cabot Trail, a road stretching around the Highlands in the northern part of the island, has been deemed one of the world's most scenic drives. St. Anne's Bay lies at the foot of the Highlands, and surrounding the bay on all sides, many artists working in a variety of disciplines from instrument making to ironwork call the region home. In fact, it has become known as the Artisans Loop. It wraps around the bay and stretches up along the North Shore, where you can find many studios and shops that reveal the creative work made by people here. The place is simply inspiring. I stopped along the North Shore to meet up with Paul to hear a bit of his story. Paul is an author and composer, and at one time was a lighthouse keeper.
I joined the lighthouse forces when they were already getting ready for automation, so I didn't have a lot of work to do. So it gave me just what I wanted, which was a place to practice music.
Nice.
Yeah.
And your experience as a lighthouse keeper was St. Paul Island. Can you tell me about that?
Well, I did St. Paul for the first 15 years that I did lighthouses, and it was, I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's a place that's like no other. It's like you're in prehistoric times with the cliffs up, rising up. And I used to have a kayak that I'd go exploring and stuff like that. So that is a magical place. Everyone said, "Did you learn any music from the ghosts?" But no, I had to teach myself. When St. Paul automated in 1990, I sort of scrambled figuring out how am I going to continue to live in Cape Breton. And the only lighthouse that was relatively nearby was a border dispute with the United States, Machias Seal Island. So I had to commute, driving from Cape Breton to St. John, New Brunswick, where I'd catch a helicopter. But it was a month-on, month-off job, and I managed it until I hit 55, and then I pulled the plug so I could play music.
Nice.
My reason for coming to Cape Breton, or staying in Cape Breton, was because of the rich traditions here of fiddle music. And when I first started, I was playing other instruments, eventually realized I had to play the fiddle in order to really understand the music. And then the first 20, 25 years, it's just trying to learn the music. So I would be studying different players and different older books and things like that. Eventually I befriended guys like Jerry Holland and Brenda Stubbert, Winston Fitzgerald, and did books on their repertoires, which helped me. It was sort of the sly man's approach to learning, because I'd be around these great players, but I'd also be notating what they do. And so that certainly got me started in getting developed as a musician. And eventually, when you're immersed in a language for so long, the composing comes rather naturally. And so, you get up in the morning and you're having a cup of coffee, and all of a sudden a fragment comes in your head, and it's like, when it happens to me, I don't have a choice. I just say, oh, what's that? What could I do with that? And in fact, I was at that this morning before I came to see you. I had some kind of a lament thing going. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's still with me. I'm still composing.
It is not surprising that so many creative people made their home here.
This is the best place in the world to live for me anyways. I mean, I have the solitude I want from, my lighthouse years, but it's got such friendly people. Everybody, the locals were always accepting from day one, and there's lots of other people from outside who came here, settled in the 70s and 80s. Many of them are artists. So I have lots of friends, both musical and artistic friends here. To me, Cape Breton's one of the most musical places in the world.
Paul, thank you so much for welcoming me here to Little River and spending some time in your community. I really appreciate your time and sharing a bit of your insight with us today.
Great to see you.
Winding its way over Cape Smoky, the Cabot Trail leads to the top of the island. The scenery is breathtaking. The mountains look animated. Gorgeous fishing villages and old farms decorate the landscape. The folks who live here are close-knit, and they find both a sense of community and a sense of privacy being set apart from the hustle and bustle of town. I visited the community of Bay St. Lawrence, where I met Amy and Patsy to talk about what it's like to live in northern Cape Breton.
So on a good day, the hiking trails are amazing, and some are easier and some are harder.
And some are hidden.
And some are hidden. And then, of course, the beaches are beautiful. Some are nice, some are hidden. And the boat rides, we got the whale watch going again, which is nice.
Yeah, we have a few.
Cyril's back out at it, which is very nice. Doesn't matter winter or summer, there's still too much to do. And the hiking trails turn into snowmobile trails.
Yep.
And the pond freezes and you skate on it. It doesn't matter. There's too much to do and not enough time to do it. That's what it boils down to, really.
Well, Amy, Patsy, it's so great to see you both, and I really appreciate you welcoming us into your community and telling us a little bit about why it is really so special.
Thank you
Thank
for coming.
you very much for coming.
I love this part of the island. The people here care about their community. They work on projects that engage young people. They value their heritage. A walk through the North Highlands Community Museum in Cape North reveals stories of settlers and tales of resiliency and resourcefulness. The Highlands are spectacular. Whether seeing them from the ocean by kayak or on a whale watch, hiking to the mountaintops, or traversing through the snow in the winter, it is an amazing place to explore. Years ago, people accessed this remote region by boat, and travel from the urban region of the Sydneys would be impacted by the ocean's Gulf Stream, giving the effect one was traveling downhill, thus giving the nickname Down North. I can still hear Granddaddy saying, "Down north, that's my country." He originally came from Neils Harbor before moving to North Sydney. I reflect on his many stories as I pick up a few fragments of song that seem to float along the air in this inspiring part of the island.